Hi, Corinne. Today we're going to talk about how to biohack your hormones. This is incredibly important to improve not only your beauty but also your energy because we are women and we're not like men. Our cycle is so complete. We have so many hormones that as soon as some hormones are too low or too high, it can affect our hair loss, our skin, our energy, and our general life. Because when we have no energy, our relationship can be good, our work skills cannot improve, and so on. So let's get into it. Today we're going to talk about cortisol, insulin, and estrogen. These three hormones are very important for our feminine energy and vitality, and of course glow and inner harmony. So why these three hormones? Because cortisol is a stress of hormone and it controls your fight or flight response. When chronically high, it disturbs sleep, causes belly fat, exhausts the adrenals, and depletes all the other hormones. So cortisol is very important to our body, and in general, stress and cortisol it's a part of our life. And before, in our humanity, cortisol and stress in general could save a human before, like when we were still living outside and hunting animals. Before, the stress hormone was incredibly important to save our lives, because when our hormone, our cortisol is high, our stress is high, we are more aware of things, we can run faster, and so on. But it didn't adapt to our today everyday life, because we have so many stress coming from social media, from our boss, from our everyday life, that our body just cannot control such a high level of stress. And that's why we suffer from it so much. So we can, of course, control it. We can find the tools how we can control it, but we need to be aware that stress is something normal as soon as it's not too high and in the right moments. Insulin is the blood sugar hormone. It manages how cells absorb glucose. Resistance leads to energy crashes, craving, weight gain, and hormonal chaos, even in thin women. So insulin, we have it all, and insulin we can very, very well stabilize with our nutrition. I'm going to tell you later how. And estrogen, this is our feminine hormone. It governs the menstrual cycle, skin elasticity, mood, and libido. And dominance or deficiency both cause PMS, bloating, and emotional swings. So, the estrogen level can go high or very low, depending on our cycle and our phases in our cycle. And we can, of course, control it and be aware what's happening. But sometimes it's whatever phase you are, it can be too high or too low, and that's why sometimes you can feel that you have no libido, that you're bloated all the time, or sometimes you're incredibly angry and another second you're very happy. So we can also control that. And cortisol is going to be our first subject of the conversation. It's so basically, what are the signs of imbalance we can find of that? First, waking up exhausted even after 8 hours. So when you wake up super tired, even though you normally slept 8 hours and were supposed to have an energy, maybe it's a sign that your cortisol is too high. Anxiety or feeling wired but tired. Belly fat that won't budge no matter what you do. Afternoon energy crashes. Poor sleep, racing thoughts at night, and irregular periods or PMS spike. And we can have here some biohacking solutions for our cortisol level. Of course, I advise you to do the test of the cortisol, but here there are tools that you can use, and it's not gonna make the situation any worse. It's gonna only help, but you will see the difference already after 1 week of using these tips. So biohacking solutions: morning sunlight 10 minutes, reset cortisol rhythm. So when you wake up, especially if you have sunlight outside, go take 10 minutes walk or go on your balcony, just put your face on the sun and enjoy it for only 10 minutes. It's gonna make your body relax and cortisol level goes slower down. And 4-7-8 breathe in. So basically you can use a breath work to reduce your cortisol. Inhale on 4 seconds, hold on 7, and exhale on 8. You can also do it on the sunlight in the morning to kind of combine those two tools, and it's going to help you so much. And I advise you to repeat it around 5 to 10 times to really help your nervous system to relax. And no caffeine before 9:30 a.m. Wait for cortisol peak, because we have cortisol's peak and it's better to reduce the caffeine before, and I do not advise you to drink coffee on an empty stomach. And adaptogens, for example, ashwagandha, like 360 milligram daily. Again, this is not dangerous, but of course I advise you to check maybe with your doctor if you don't have any allergies, but normally this is a very light biohacking tool that can help you very much with your cortisol. And 10 p.m. screen curfew. So basically we have melatonin hormone and we have cortisol. And melatonin hormone is a hormone of sleep, and they kind of work together, you know. And if your melatonin is too low, your cortisol will be higher. So if you don't sleep well, your cortisol will be high. If your melatonin is going to raise, your cortisol will be low. So for this, I advise you to avoid screens after 10 p.m. because when we have screens in front of our face, we will not generate melatonin that will impact our sleep and raise our cortisol. And walk 20 minutes after meals is gonna lower your cortisol spike. So as soon as you had your dinner, your lunch, go take a quick walk, 10, 15, 20 minutes, it's gonna lower the cortisol and make all the good for your body. Another hormone is insulin, and this is the blood sugar hormone. So those are the signs of imbalance of insulin. Sugar craving after meals. Energy crashes after 2-3 p.m. So if you're tired after your lunch, this is a sign. Difficulty losing weight, skin tags or dark neck patches, PCOS or hormone acne, bloating and water retention. So also the signs that probably your insulin is imbalanced. And those are biohacking tools that can help you to actually balance it and feel better. Eat protein and fat first, blunt glucose spike. So first, I advise you when you start your meal, I have the whole big video about that, you can go and check, but I advise you to start every meal first with your veggies. And so it's a fiber. Fiber is incredibly helpful to kind of stop your insulin spike, your glucose spike. And first you eat veggies, then you eat protein and fats, and only then you eat sugar, carbs, that's like dessert and so on. It's gonna slow your glucose spikes. Add apple cider vinegar before carb-heavy meals. For example, you know that you're gonna eat some pasta or some pizza on the dinner, during the dinner with your friends, and before that, drink 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar with a big glass of water, and then go for your dinner. Or you can also add it to a little salad like a sauce and eat it before a heavy meal, carb heavy meal. And resistance training 2 or 3 times a week improves the sensitivity also. And 10 minutes walk after meals lower blood sugar on 30%. Again, remember we've talked about it on cortisol and now on insulin. Don't forget to walk after you have lunch, dinner, or breakfast. And berberine, 50 milligrams with meals, it's a natural metformin. And 12 to 16 hours intermittent fasting 3 times per week. Be like, for example, I'm a professional dancer and I finish classes late, around 9 or 10 p.m. And usually I eat before, so around 4:30, 5 p.m. And then I don't eat anymore around 3 or 4 times a week. And intermittent fasting in general, helps us so much to detoxify our digestion and help our gut to digest better and, of course, reduce your insulin spikes. And estrogen. Estrogen, it's our feminine hormone. It's incredibly useful. And these are the signs that, first, if your estrogen is too high, probably you have heavy, painful periods, your breast tenderness, your bloatings and mood swings, and fibroids and endometriosis. And if your estrogen is too low, you have probably low libido and dry skin, brain fog and low mood, irregular or absent periods, and hot flashes even in your 20s or 30s. This is very important to check this hormone and see, like, if you have one of those symptoms, it's really, really important to balance it, because it just affects your life and you don't want to live with low libido. You don't want to live with mood swings all the time, right? So this is in your hands to change it. And those are biohacking solutions. DIM supplement clears excess estrogen via the liver. Ground flax seeds, 2 tablespoons daily. It's a phytoestrogen balance. And avoid plastics, because plastics is actually can destroy your estrogen. So what can you do? Instead of drinking from the plastic bottles, take with you one with glasses and try in everyday life, avoid plastics. Also check your clothes, because often in a low quality clothes we also have plastics, unfortunately. And daily raw carrots naturally removes excess estrogen. Cycle synchronization, your workout with your menstrual cycle. I also have a lot of videos, and I talk a lot about it on my online course Essential Shift, that if you actually live within your cycle and not against it. For example, during your follicular phase, you lift heavy weights, or during your menstrual cycle, you do gentle yoga. It's going to help you to improve your hormones and generally live happier without mood swings and so on. And track your cycle. Identify estrogen pattern windows. Before, when I was on my birth control pills, I wouldn't track my cycle, obviously, and after 10 years of taking these pills, my hormones were completely destroyed and disbalanced. And now I don't take those pills for now 4 years, and I feel so much happier. I feel that I actually embrace my cycle instead of being scared of them or scared of it, or like living with the thought of like, oh my God, again periods. I know exactly how to adapt my life to my cycle, and I think it's beautiful, and it's a big part about being a woman. And here I showed you a little like hormone triangle. These 3 hormones don't work in isolation. They are a constant conversation. So you see, insulin resistance disrupt estrogen. Yes, so for example, if your glucose spikes are too high, it's going to affect your estrogen. If you have high cortisol, also it's lower estrogen, and high cortisol spikes. High cortisol affects your insulin spikes. So it means that all of that in our body, it's playing together an important role, and you need to learn how to balance all of these 3 hormones. And also, if you fix cortisol first, it's going to improve your insulin, and insulin is going to improve your estrogen. So I would start with improving the cortisol, doing the breath work, relaxing, reduce your stress, and then it's going to improve the insulin, and estrogen will follow. And here I decided to create for you a very fun daily hormone protocol. So I would advise you to wake up at 7 a.m., take a little bit of sunlight, do your breath work, drink water. Like I advise you to drink hot water, like warm water with lemon and a little bit of Himalayan salt. And then at 8:30 you can have your little breakfast, protein first with veggies, no caffeine yet, and 2 tablespoons flax seeds. And 9:30, then you can have your little cup of coffee because your cortisol spike is past. And 12 p.m. you can have first apple cider vinegar before your meal, raw carrot side, and a little walk after your meal. And 6 p.m. resistance training, especially during your follicular phase, or yoga during your luteal phase, just before your periods. And 10 p.m. no screens, no lights, and ashwagandha, magnesium, and glycinate. And eat and supplement food for balance. So what can we eat and what supplements we can use in order to help actually to improve those hormones? But careful, first consult your doctor before starting new supplements because it's really important. I constantly work with nutritionists. I check first, I do a lot of tests on my body. I do the blood test, hormone test, and then I implement supplements. So of course, food, you can already do it right now. And for supplements, I advise you to, if you want to, you can write me in DM. I can advise you to a nutritionist, or I can advise you to a doctor who can actually help you with that. And so for the cortisol, the food you can take, it's dark chocolate, blueberries, turkey, chamomile tea, and salmon. And supplements, ashwagandha, magnesium, B complex, and rhodiola. And for insulin support, avocado, eggs, broccoli, cinnamon, beans, and legumes. And supplements, berberine, chromium, alpha lipoic acid, and inositol. And estrogen support, flax seeds, broccoli, fermented foods, raw carrots, pomegranate. And supplements, D, calcium D, glucarate, liver support, milk thistle, and zinc. I've done already a big cure with supplements, and honestly it helped me so much, but there is a whole protocol how you have to do it. So please, for the supplements, you need to have a specialist with you. I have a specialist on my program Essential Shift that I can advise you, and you can work with her. She's amazing. And mistakes that destroy your hormones, very important. Skipping breakfast or eating carbs first. This is going to create a huge insulin spike in your body. Always start with your veggies, protein, and to prevent insulin spike and cortisol. Drinking coffee on empty stomach. Cortisol peaks 30-45 minutes after waking up. Coffee on top causes anxiety and adrenaline fatigue. Chronic cardio, daily running. It's raising cortisol long term, mix in stress training and rest days. Rest, girls, very important. We have to rest sometimes. I have to remind myself that, especially as a professional dancer, I train all the time, and on my calendar I put like rest day, otherwise I'm not gonna follow that. And eating from plastic containers. BPA mimics estrogen in the body. Switch to glass or stainless steel. And sleep under 7 hours. You know that women, we need more sleep, but not necessarily we need to sleep for 12 hours. Our sleep has to have a good quality. Growth hormone and estrogen are replenished only during deep sleep. And high stress lifestyle without recovery. Chronic stress, it's equal chronic cortisol. All hormones suffer, and we need to really recover from it. It's incredibly important for us. Your hormones are talking to you, girls. It's time to listen and answer with intention. Balance cortisol first, stabilize insulin daily, and support estrogen gently. Thank you so much for your attention. I hope you enjoyed. I believe that if you will already take care of these free hormones, it can change your life so much, and your feminine radiance, the way you look, the way you feel, it's all gonna change, I promise. And if you will just use some of these tips You will see already after 1 month, after 2 months. For me, it's been already years. I see changes. I'm soon gonna be 30, and I feel and I look better than when I was 20. So if you have any questions, please reach out to me. I will be happy to answer, and let me know if in comments who started already today to use these protocols to improve your hormones. And if you have any questions, you can also write in comments. I will be incredibly happy to reply. Thank you so much. Let's live this life to the fullest.